The Duchess of Sussex launched the 40 by 40 trademark project on her 40th birthday, a scheme which sought to ask 40 of the Duchess TMS fiends to give 40 minutes of their time to advise women on how to get back into the workplace. In a launch video with Hollywood actress Melissa McCarthy, Meghan promised the scheme would have a ripple effect across the world as each person asked 40 of their own friends to take part. But royal family expert Neil Sean told his YouTube channel on Thursday that despite efforts to find out more about the progress of the program, no update has been given on its success. The revelation has now sparked questions as to what the project has actually achieved since its launch on August 4 this year. Mr. Sean noted how the scheme at first seemed like a very big incentive given the number of jobs lost across the world, especially by women, during the pandemic. The royal expert said, "There does not seem to be an update. Justin Prince Harry given reality check after claiming, 'I want to work with normal people' trademark. We are not quite sure exactly, with all the celebrities that were contacted, what they did. And how it progressed and was there any success from this?' He asked whether people suddenly got their lives back on track thanks to the scheme but noted how no update has meant this question has gone unanswered. Mr. Sean went on to highlight it does seem odd that Meghan would make such a huge statement about the promising scheme but not follow up with any progress reports or details 4 months on. Read more. Meghan and Prince Harry's Canadian trips cost taxpayers $334,000. He also noted how Princess Eugenie, daughter of Prince Andrew, promised to take part but no update has been given from her either. Mr. Sean added, "For now as ever though, it remains to be seen what Meghan TMS idea of success is regarding that particular 40 by 40 scheme." And in subtle jab at the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, the royal expert quipped that the pair should come forward at the end of the year and share with followers how successful their various projects and incentives have been. The Duke and Duchess TMS Artual production company website fails to report any update on the scheme. But there are a number of testimonials from individuals from across the world who have pledged 40 minutes of their own time to assist other women as part of the scheme. Meghan Markle has also embarked on other projects, including writing a picture book titled The Bench, published earlier this year, about the bond between a father and a son. The Duchess, alongside husband Prince Harry, has also signed multi-million-dollar contracts with Netflix and Spotify. She is also working on an animated series for Netflix titled Pearl, described as a family series that centers on the adventures of a 12-year-old girl, who is inspired by a variety of influential women from history. Prince Harry was provided with official royal security throughout his life because of his seniority within the royal family. New reports obtained by Canadian media have shown the Duke of Sussex costed taxpayers over $250,000 with his frequent visits to the country in the early stages of his relationship with Meghan Markle. CBC News reporter Elizabeth Thompson reported that Meghan was escorted by Scotland Yard police bodyguard at the Invictus Games opening ceremony in 2017, with Canadian taxpayers bearing the heavy costs. Ms. Thompson said, "Prince Harry has usually for his entire life been surrounded by security, and when he has visited Canada, the RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, works with the British security to make sure that he stays safe in Canada, but it's cost a lot more than Canadians realise." The documents that were released to CBC News under access to information show that between January 2016 and February 2020, it cost more than $334,000 to sub in an additional cost for the RCMP to supply security for him, and that's above and beyond the salaries of the officers who were assigned to protect him. She continued, "Now a lot of people might think that the most expensive period, when they spent that Christmas in Canada, and they were thinking of stepping back and maybe living in Canada part-time. But in fact, the most expensive period was the period that you mentioned, it was 2017-2018. He had a week-long period where he was doing official engagements with the Invictus Games that he founded. He also appeared at We Day and gave out some Duke of Edinburgh awards and things like that, but it was also the period where he had started seriously dating Meghan Markle, who was living in Toronto while she was filming the show Suits." So the paparazzi who started hanging out around Meghan Markle's house when it became known that they were sort of dating, they used to see like 6 big black SUVs on this little suburban residential street that she lived on, and in those SUVs were British security but also RCMP. During the Invictus Games opening ceremony, Meghan Markle attended the event alongside her now husband Prince Harry and her best friend Marcus Anderson. Meghan was safeguarded by a royalty protection squad officer who could be seen standing in a stairwell. However, Meghan, who was not yet engaged to Prince Harry and a commoner, was not entitled to taxpayer-funded RCMP. Prince Harry TMS visits between April 2017 to March 2018 cost taxpayers $182,430. The cost did not cover police officers' salaries but money for overtime work and their travel expenses. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex with baby Archie moved to Canada in 2020. They were provided security by RCMP, which cost taxpayers approximately $33,000 a month. Assistant Commissioner, Commanding Officer Coup Copyright Beck Division, RCMP, Pierre-Yves Bourdieu said that the RCMP has to consider the danger/threats and provide them with protection ahead of any VIP visiting Canada. He said, "They still have a responsibility, because what if something would happen to that very important person in our country? The ripple effect could have a negative reflection on our country and how, seriously, we are taking the security of these types of individuals that are enjoying the hospitality of our country." Prince Harry and Meghan announced their exit from the royal family on January 18, 2020, and stepped down as active royal members were scraped of their security by the firm. Mirror's royal editor Russell Myers claimed the Duke of Sussex, who quit royal duties with Meghan Markle last year for a new life in California, has hurt family members with recent outbursts. Mr. Myers made the comments after Harry waded into the Cash for Honours row surrounding Prince Charles's charity. Mr. Myers told the Mirror, "The Prince of Wales is caught between a rock and a hard place on how to deal with his son after so many recent and often hurtful outbursts towards the rest of his family." For while Prince Charles, according to those close to him, still loves and cares deeply for Prince Harry, there is a certain unease at how frequently and with such ease he seems to wade into his family TMS affairs. The family he upped sticks and left behind, if you recall. The latest souring of relations between father and son seems to stem from Harry attempting to claim he raised concerns about a Saudi tycoon at the center of a probe into sizable donations to Charles' TMS charity. This is at odds with Charles, or any of his closest advisors, who appear to have no knowledge of Harry ever mentioning anything of the sort. The Harry that presents himself in public, or through his vastly expensive lawyers, is quite different from the one who still engages with his father. The danger is he will run out of a number of already dwindling allies in his own family if he doesn't see the hurt he is causing to others who have maintained a dignified silence. Mr. Myers' comments come after Harry denied involvement in Cash for Honours claims and said he severed ties with a Saudi billionaire donor to the Prince of Wales charity 6 years ago. A spokesperson for the Duke said Harry expressed his concerns about Mahfouz Mari Mubarak bin Mahfouz, who it is claimed was promised a knighthood and residency in the UK while donating to the Prince's Foundation, in 2015. Harry is living in Montecito with Meghan after the couple stepped back as working royals in March 2020. Harry said Charles stopped taking his calls and cut him off financially after Megxit. And weeks later, in a podcast appearance, the Duke appeared to suggest Charles, the Queen and the late Prince Philip had all failed as parents. Harry said he wanted to break the cycle of genetic pain and suffering for the sake of his own children. He said of Charles, "He's treated me the way he was treated, so how can I change that for my own kids?" Harry has returned to Britain twice, since Megxit, once for the Duke of Edinburgh's funeral in April and again for the unveiling of a Princess Diana statue in July.